When you wake up the next morning, you feel the burn before you even get up. Your legs haven't felt this sore in a while. You stretch your whole body, and this same soreness extends to your back, but it's satisfying in its own way. Yesterday's expedition to the valley was a long hike, quite the welcome change of pace from all these days inside the hotel. Plus, you got a lot done in one day. When you look at the clock, you find it's already quite a bit later than your usual waking time. But after everything, you've earned a late start to the day. Breakfast must be quick to account for. However, while Asterion makes scrambled eggs, you go behind his back and prepare toast. When he puts the plate on the table and motions to prepare something else, you surprise him by making a sandwich with the toast and eggs. Oh? Is that not a tad humble for the realm's lord? Maybe, but it's already late. What do you say we sit together and share a sandwich while we plan the day? Oh, I'd rather not repeat the other day's disaster, if you wouldn't mind. Well, wasn't cutlery the issue? And we were eating sandwiches today. After all. I suppose. There's no arguing against that. Before I sit down, is my clothing appropriate for the day? Oh no, is it appropriate? You look good. Who knows? Alright, fine. We'll change it up. Change it. Yeah, sure. Sure. Asterion inspects his clothing and general appearance while you eat. Thank you for this selection today. Today might be an important day after all. If we get the bottle? If we get the bottle, yes. I must remind you that I can still heal without it. Our priority should be getting the internet up and running, so as to not upset the guests. Based on how you describe it, and how much I hear about it in the lounge, it seems to be essential to you all now. It would be a tragedy if we were to lose guests over this issue. It's annoying to live without it, sure, but I'd say we're doing a good job managing the hotel otherwise. We're facing a lot of challenges and doing our best. That speaks for itself. I doubt people would stop coming here over lack of internet. Besides, we can still, I hope, get both done by tonight. You take a bite of your egg sandwich. You sound optimistic, Master. Well, I hope Luke and Coda are more cooperative today. You finish your breakfast in silence, together, without any catastrophic cutlery situation. After cleaning the table of any breadcrumbs, you and Asterion walk towards the staircase together. Before splitting up, you head to reception, while Asterion summons the others. Coda puts down the last dish of the batch and turns to the clock on the wall. 5 to 8. Very few guests have shown up for early breakfast today. The only people so far were the South American workers. Coda had grown fond of their company these past few days, and they have in turn enjoyed his gravelly voice, and jokes, smiles, and extended explanations he brought with each dish. Sorry. I did not know he had a gravelly voice. Perhaps they were not used to being treated so well. And of course, they loved his cooking, even if it wasn't so distant from what they were wives cooked back home. So there was a certain disappointment in the air when this morning Coda didn't serve his usual steamed rice, grilled trout, and kobachi. Instead, the dragon had cooked quite the unusual special for the day. Still, Coda's cooking left nothing to be desired, and they chowed down nonetheless. A happy customer always cheered Coda up, but as the clock kept ticking, he began to wonder if the effort was worth it. It totally is, Coda. Don't worry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Walker. Morning. Luke drags a stool back, pops himself on the other side of the bar, and rests his hands on the counter. Luke looks off to the side. It's the other guests chatting around. He swings his feet while twiddling his thumbs. Coda, meanwhile, looks down to wash some cups. He waits for the inevitable tasteless joke from the Griffin. He doesn't even look up, so sure it's coming up. But it never arrives. He gives Luke a glance. 2, 3, until they were staring at each other in acknowledgement. Sorry. Coda pulls a tray and places it in front of the Griffin. You showed up on time. Luke looks down at the dish. Pancakes, fried eggs, bacon, and freshly squeezed orange juice. Yep. And weren't you talking shit about me? And you weren't talking shit about me when I got here, so I guess we're both deserve a hooray. You give me more than enough reasons to do that. Luke grabs a strip of bacon off the plate with his hands, dips in the egg yolk, and opens his beak wide to swallow it whole. Perhaps such a display would have brought dismay to Coda just a week before, but this time he finds himself unfazed by it. No, I didn't. I know I can be difficult to deal with, but that doesn't mean you should be badmouth someone when he doesn't have the chance to defend himself. It ain't a gentlemanly thing to do. But you do have a point. I came on to you, made you uncomfortable, and then escalated the situation. It was a shitty thing to do. I apologize. You are forgiven. And I admit, I have misjudged you, and in fact, your eagerness to help Mr. Asterion and Mr. Lucian has revealed a few qualities I must respect. You could have stood by and done nothing, but you offered your help for a risky, difficult task. I suppose that says more about your character than your petty squabble ever could. Luke smiles, cuts off a big chunk of pancake, and then folds it in half and slips in the entire massive piece down his gullet. Wow. Even if, and I must be honest in this regard, your manners leave a lot to be desired. Luke gulps and clears his throat, while wiping his hand with a napkin. He cuts a smaller chunk this time, one which would still make a human choke, and brings it to his mouth. I'm sorry? It's just that it's really delicious. Luke takes a sip of orange juice. You are right, though. We got a bigger hole in the fence here, and we'd be more used to this joint if we don't act like petty assholes to each other. Luke stretches his right hand to Coda. The dragon hesitates. The griffin's scaly digits are covered in a film of egg yolk and bacon grease, fanning the embers of enmity back into flame. The blue dragon takes Luke's hand despite himself. He remembers as his palm meets the American's with an audible squelch. What he can wash afterwards, swallowing his pride as readily as Luke swallows his remains of his breakfast. Peace restored, understanding replaces unease. Before long, they both look back to their first meeting and laugh. The two spend the following half hour without saying a word to each other, but not minding the company. They enjoy breakfast, get busy with basic chores, and greet other guests as the lounge fills up. The other guests whisper, "What a far cry this room from the bickering of the previous days." When Asterion walks into the lounge, he, like the other guests, cannot contain his surprise seeing the two get along. Luke, Coda, your presence is required in the reception. Sure, partner. Let's do this. Indeed. You lean on the reception desk. You think back to how empty this place used to be and how busy it is now. Today is going to be another stressful day, but one can hope by the end of it all, it'll be worth it. You saw nothing. You don't have time to reflect. However, since Asterion returns from the lounge much faster than you expected, to your surprise, Luke and Coda walk in behind him, still distant from each other, but not bickering. Well, it seems like everyone is here. So today is our last chance to get the bottle. We're going to need to sacrifice the bundle we found yesterday somewhere in the valley. How much progress did we make, Asterion? Well, there's 3 spots that we need to be surveyed and 3 artifacts necessary. So far, we have 3 and 1 respectively. Thankfully, the internet issue is solved, but we can still put people in the R&D team to work on other stuff if you don't want to explore the valley, or I guess you two will have to stay separate. Nah, don't worry about that. We will do what is necessary to help, yes. Well, that's good news. Thanks, you two. So, that's the state of affairs. Mierde. I'm sorry. Mierdere? Is that Spanish? I'm sorry. I've not taken a Spanish class in a long time. What the fuck? Sorry. I thought no one was going to be here for a while. Okay. Ishmael awkwardly runs away towards the lounge, arms behind his back. So anyway, you hear a banging noise coming from the lounge, followed by the sound of breaking glass and a shrill spree of cursing. It's just Ishmael tripping, you assume. Back at the lounge there is the hearth, which is besides a few couches and raised from the ground floor by a step. Quite a few people have tripped on that step. You've had several complaints about it. You tried using the hotel's magic to relocate it somewhere with less traffic, but it seems to remain where it is. Maybe there's a contract in the way that makes its position in the hotel a fixed point in the space. You'll have to discuss it with Asterion at some point. And that's when it hits you. You had pushed Argos away. You had pushed Argos to say something. Give you an idea that perhaps he shouldn't have. With what he said, any of the god-made shrines will do. And I really do mean it. You look to the lounge at the fire burning in the hearth. Perhaps a solution to your problem has been staring you right in the face, and you didn't realize it. In fact, you think back to what Asterion mentioned 2 days ago, in regards to the basin in the bedrock of the labyrinth. Millennia ago, it was a shrine to the god Hermes, patron of trade and messengers. There are other such locations in this realm dedicated to specific gods. Perhaps you don't need to go all the way to the valley to make a worthy sacrifice. Asterion, do we have something like a god-made shrine in the hotel? I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, Master. I mean, something like a shrine, but created by the gods themselves. I suppose they must be very old things dating back to when the place was recreated. Does that give you any idea? Yes, a few has come to mind. The hearth near the lounge, as you know, is a shrine to the goddess Hestia. The basin in the bedrock is a shrine to Hermes. We have a shrine to Hades in one of the gardens as well. I used to keep it in good shape, although I haven't gotten to it yet. But why do you ask? When I pressed Argos for more information, he said he will accept any sacrifice from any god-made shrine. So yes, I don't think we need to make the big expedition to the sacrifice the bundle. That's terrific news. It is indeed. Wait, does this mean I'm getting out of nerd duty? Shit, I was looking forward to the hike, to be honest. Well, we can still send people out to the valley to find other useful stuff, I suppose. So Asterion and I will stay to make the sacrifice then. Maybe I shouldn't risk any encounters like yesterday's if it's not strictly necessary. So I have 3 options then. Any. Lady Hestia. Alright, I think he likes that one. But Hermes is in the basement. I guess it doesn't matter, right? So... boom. Alright, Hades. Sorry. I'm more of a random guy. So, Asterion. All I have to do is go to the statue with the three-headed dog in the garden and burn the bundle in front of it, right? More or less, yes. That's what I will do. As for the rest... oh my god. You're going there. No, I'm joking. Whoa. He knows 2? Okay. You're gonna do the hike. I feel like he wouldn't like the hike. Alright, so this is it. Finish. Alright. Is everyone's roles clear? Very well. Let's get to it then. Asterion hums in the melody of a downward passage. Wait, what? Hold on, sorry. Asterion hums a melody, and a downward passage to the bedrock materializes next to the door leading to the staircase. You bid Coda farewell. You wish Coda good luck as he walks off toward the valley. You hold the bundle in your hands with a wide smile. Well, want to get rid of this thing, Asterion? It would be a great pleasure, Lucian. You and Asterion go back to the garden beyond the lounge. In the middle of the field, flowers stand at the statue, with the 3-headed dog at its side. Hades may be a god of the dead, but his statue portrays none of the sinister aura one would expect from such a position. He seems firm, but not at all hostile or malignant. And Cerberus, no taller than your knees, seems to be eager and happy as any mortal lapdog. You and Asterion cross the lake of flowers. As you draw close, Asterion's gait shifts. He attempts some form of ceremonial grace, standing straight with his shoulders drawn back. Before starting the ritual, the Minotaur makes a point of cleaning both statues. Special attention goes to the dog. He pets each head one by one. After he's done, he motions for you to approach. Hades Philomonos, my old general. Long has it been since I attended to your shrine. Today, we will come to pay our respects to pure Persephone, and to you, to the fairest of maidens, and to guide of fates, a flame born from an Icarus offering and scented with pomegranates. Underground queen and king, grant us your guidance. The Minotaur places the offering at the feet of the statue, covered by a pile of pomegranates, and sets them on fire in seconds. A tall flame sprouts from it, letting out a billowing cloud of bitter smoke. You and Asterion walk away from it. The hotel was built around the statue and the hearth. A long time ago, I used to sneak here. The creatures of this realm never appreciated this place. The hearth back then was nothing more than a bonfire. Lord Hades, after my death I was sent to this realm, as one would expect. He took me into his court, you could say, and eventually I joined his guard. Hades was a good and fair monarch. He never accepted offerings. After all, there should be no bargaining with the Lord of the Dead. But we who worked under his employ knew he had a soft spot for his wife. We'd bring her fruit and flowers to keep him appeased. I did it more than most. You and Astyrian return to the hotel. Punished Argos. Wow. You spend the rest of your day on your own, going through the usual routine. You spend some of the time manning the reception, going to a lounge for lunch, and taking an afternoon break in the master's quarters. Eventually, the time comes to check in on both your teams. Let's check in on R&D team. Your R&D team made some progress, but no project was completed. Let's check in on the exploration team. Your team found 3 raw materials. Other than that, your exploration team didn't make any big discoveries. The valley shadows crawl up to the hotel's entrance. They extend from the hills and cliffs, far ahead from the shrubs and trees further down the slope. They mingle and mix into a labyrinth of shadows, creeping and growing its way to your feet. If you could ride these tendrils of darkness, follow a branch's shade to that of the jutting rocks beside it, then hop to the great cliff's imposing shadow, you would find that they're all connected. The labyrinth is in the crawling shadows, in the snaking riverbeds, in the vast network of cracked earth extending well into the horizon. And beneath it all, there is a stirring, something awakening, drawn to your existence, the existence of its master. When you stop, you plant your feet on the ground. It is easier to notice, a dull hum, which comes and goes, grave and slow. Then a crack. A dry branch breaks, followed by a gray mass shifting beneath the brush. Oh, it's him. Argos reveals himself. You are a bit late. I am sorry, my lord. You see, I was just doing my rounds, tending to my beautiful gardens. But I am here after all. It's getting late, so how about we waste no time and right down to business? Well, I'm afraid I did not see anyone go up to the plateau to make the offering. Tell me, my good lord, what happened? You have the strength to spare, and there is a whole hotel brimming with people you could use for your goals. What made you fail such a simple task? Well, I don't think I failed at all. You see, I was thinking back to our little conversation the other day. I recall you saying that any god-made shrine will do. Is that not correct? That is correct. Any of the shrines will do. But oh, where could our fine lord be going with this? I fulfilled the mission, of course. It just so happens I made an offering to any other shrine. In the hotel, there is a statue of the old god of the dead, Hades, which Astyrian told me dates back to the creation of the realm. We burned an offering at his feet. So I fulfilled my part of the bargain, Argos. An offering to one of the god-made shrines, just as you instructed. Now it's your turn. Excuse me? Can you repeat that? I made a sacrifice, I did. But from the comfort of my hotel, and to Hades. Are you going deaf? Must I repeat myself once more? The snake's gaze trembles as he dives into a deep thinking. He looks to the west, to now the darkened plateau, then up to the hotel. His lips moving as if counting, or listing off the name of the gods. No. Well, I am a snake of my word. Here is the wine. The healing kind, of course. In a blink of an eye, it shall patch up the heifer's wounds. The snake hands you a bottle of wine. You obtained a bottle of wine. Thank you, Argos. You may be a treacherous snake, but you have integrity, I suppose. Ah, what a string of compliments. I am glad the master appreciates his humble servant. I would have you know, it would be a great shame to one such as I, the snake of the labyrinth, to not fulfill my promise. We have always been careful with our words, you see. Nothing escapes us. But as much as it enlivens my spirit to hear your honeyed words, I take it you have duties to attend to, do you not? Oh, my lord, and pay attention to the valley. So it sounds. I will call you again with my flute when time comes. There is a delay, he realizes. Even if no words cross his mind, he knows. The Minotaur's index finger rests on the lyre's strings, stroking it up and down, feeling the hum vibrating against his hand. He plucks the string. The note jumps from the string to air, then crawls into his ears, drips down into his mind. And there's the delay. There is a gap between action and reaction. Tonight, the world feels sluggish, to the Minotaur, as if he's looking out to the desert below. The land with which he is so familiar, and which the new master reacquainted him with. His fingers stroke the string, up and down, up and down. He's looking out to the hills and valleys, to the seam between the land and sky, to the thousands of dots up above. He commands his finger to pluck the string, but there is a delay. His movements are sluggish, as his thoughts. His eyes look towards the blackness. Plucked, the sound crawls up. And under most circumstances, it would spark a sense of comfort in his mind. But there is a delay. Asterion drags a finger over the string. He hooks it with the fingernail, pulls it out, feels the unbearable tension, and anticipates its snapping. There is a gap between ordering his hand to let go that cracking whip against his ear. His other hand realizes the lyre's handle. Nails dig into his flesh. There is a delay. Between feeling them digging in that dull, familiar agony, Asterion drags a finger over the lyre's string, anticipating the approaching footsteps of a master. He looks outside, but sees nothing. And in fact, time itself seems mushy. This time the string strings against his finger because it has rubbed his fingertip raw. He hooks a nail on the string, pulls and notices. Not that either his nail or the cord will snap. He plucks the string, and there is a delay. How long has this wretch been doing this? What nonsense! Bland indulgence, whining end. Just whining. He's throwing a temper tantrum, sitting at the porch plucking at the same string again and again. He used to do it as a child, too. Back then, he'd be lectured about it, told so by his wet nurse. What nonsense! Bland indulgence, whining and... Then he was shipped off to the labyrinth, with his lyre sneaked in, ready to be plucked time and time again. Until it snapped. One night, when he and Lomedon talked. He ruminates upon his thoughts and memories. Did his guest ever mutter under his breath those same words? Whatever answer could run across his mind, it does not matter. There is no place for anything except the absolute certainty that, yes, Lomedon did believe that. What nonsense, bland indulgence, whining, and a monody that he could bellow. He only mutters. A turgid timidity keeps him from even holding the pitch. Despite the delay, he plucks the string, now stained black and red. The labyrinth from his youth, the one with the shrine at its heart, walls thrice his height, muddles and shifts. A new one crawls up from the depths of Tartarus. He hears the old gods muttering their curses, toying with his life thread, and the crackling of fates in the distance. He plucks the string, and cannot help but think how easily one could get lost among this pile of disheveled scraps of fabric. String and cloth, coil it, make a ball of yarn out of it. It will guide you through. What nonsense, bland indulgence, whining end. Straighten it, tie it on the pegs, tighten, pluck the string with delay, and it hammers in your mind, against that mushy brain of yours. What nonsense, bland indulgence, whining end, and dozens of centuries of a new labyrinth. Now he's here today, after 80 years locked in a cold room, whining because the master sent him to the valley. What nonsense, bland indulgence, whining end. Is that so bad? What can befall him that hasn't occurred 1,000 times over? Pain is such a fragile thing. Grit your teeth and bear it. Let it come. To be allowed even a moment of safety, such as this one, is reason enough to be grateful. Cease your whining. Whatever excursions this master commands are nothing compared to that once was. Let a fiend take an arm, a leg, then it is still nothing more than a scratch. What nonsense, bland indulgence, whining and. Pain passes. Grit your teeth and bear it. Be grateful the master sees it fit for you to have a roof. The Minotaur silences the strings with his palm. He sees what has happened to his finger, red and black now, and breath leaves his lungs. But that is still the worst scenario, is it not? Perhaps the master is merely naive, as opposed to. He puts the raw wound in his mouth, soothing it with his tongue. Just bear it for now. Whoever he is, that is yet to be revealed. Just bear it. It's barely been over a week since you crossed the desert, glimpsed the valley below, and opened all your doors inside the hotel. Since that night, you and Asterion sat before the hearth. So much has changed. The hotel stands restored. Its once silent hallways are now peppered with footsteps and voices of guests. And the Minotaur has broken down a figure in the back of his cold room. As sure as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, he too did change. Over the ages, masters came who saw virtue in serving the gods. After all, what could be more rightful than reenacting these old rites? And yet, so did masters arrive who saw fit to discard those old trappings and delve deep into something humane, and all the more unholy for it. To release a prisoner from his rightful sentence, to corrupt a holy realm, to fulfill the whims of fickle humans, to spawn diamonds from one's hands, to house unclean and ill wretches, to divert the land's resources towards their own goals. With what strange follies these humans do, such gods may think. Some Prometheus or another that offers them fire. A fitting gift to burn fatty hecatombs. And it is used instead of to warm one's on others' feet. Oh, to warm one another feet. What will this new master? What will this new master, climbing up the grand staircase, do with his mandate? When he looks at the prisoner and reveals his true self, does he despise the judgment of humans beneath his feet, or does he fear the gods, wherever they may be? Does he dream of standing up to the legacy of the old hero, Theseus, or will he content himself with being decent and no more special than his peers? Will he tire himself away up these stairs one day, and find himself lost in his own thoughts? Of some decisions only half made, some all too self-made, that he knows that now he would make again. Whatever his choice may be, none may cast judgment, for the Lord holds all power in this realm, and the gods themselves are nowhere to be seen. No checks and balances, no fear of reprisal, okay? Just a stone-made footprints of contracts and curses. Perhaps these too can be made useful, except perhaps for that lone watchman down below, the keeper of divine will. What sharp eyes he has! As for us, fret not. We shall not judge you. This is no trial. A man such as yourself holds no regrets in how you may carry your affairs. Now, let us waste no more. Let us waste any more. Okay. Now, let us not waste any more of the monarch's precious time. Before you lies the door, and beyond it, the prisoner awaits his captor. What the heck? We have a table? Since when? You finish your ascent and open the door, and there he is, sitting at the living room table, while cradling his lyre. We got the wine. Upon your entrance, the Minotaur recoils, as if hit in the stomach, a held breath punched out of him. It takes him a moment to even look to one side and see you're there, and another to see the wine, that dark shape in your hand, looking so odd, swirling and sloshing. The Minotaur opens his mouth to speak and lingers silent. He shudders, chills running up his spine all the way to the back of his head. Then it assaults him again, that terrible sensation, as if hummingbirds were pecking at the back of his head. It seemed as if he was about to speak, but with all the turbulence, he just takes a breath instead. Are you okay? He exhales a little harder. His nostrils flare until his snort. Yes, master, I am fine. I am just shocked, even now. The Minotaur has not stood up. You shake the bottle in his direction. Well, I need water. Well, don't look at me like a deer in headlights. Get over here. The Minotaur's breathing is short and agitated, as if he was resting from a sprint. His eyes betray his kind daze. A deer? Me? Oh, sorry. A deer? Me? Upon hearing your words, he reaches up and caresses his horns, checking if they had become antlers, and stands at the command. He approaches, arms sticking straight down at his sides, as if he didn't know what to do with them. Perhaps he expected more aplomb, more ritual. To be handed the bottle like this, as a friend would deliver a parcel, makes his movement tentative. Asterin extends his hands and gingerly takes it. The Minotaur feels the bottom of the bottle with his thumb. He looks up and meets your gaze. He looks back at the bottle. He works the cork out and brings it to his nose. He doesn't seem to make a show out of it. show out of smelling it, but just breathes as he normally would. Are you determining the vintage? He doesn't seem to hear you. For a moment, it is as if his breathing ceased altogether. He sits, with his bottle still near his face, arms tense, but face blank. The Minotaur looks at the bottle. He smells it again. He seems to notice your quizzical look, but does not maintain eye contact. His wide-open eyes go dull, as if he's lost in thought. I cannot thank him enough. Nothing I can provide will make up for it. I shouldn't look a gift horse in the wait, what? I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth when he's just being so nice. If I am to be owned, I hope I can be owned well. I know that he must know what I need to do to pay him back. I cannot repay the gods, but Zeus, alive, I can give back what earthly favors I receive. Do not expect this to become a habit of his little star, no. But do not appear like he couldn't have done what he has done. It is a good day, and perhaps some drinking songs may soon be in order. I apologize, Master, if I am keeping you. I do not wish to speak beyond my station here in saying it. He opens his mouth to speak again, but stops himself. His gaze wanders around as if reaching out for the right words, but they keep running away from his grasp. When a master does me a favor like you have done, I want to make sure I can hold on to that moment. It almost always comes back as a shock. You've thrown me a bit. The tension in his neck increases as he moves his tongue around his mouth, as if rehearsing his next statement before saying it. It's been quite some time, but I am not sure any previous master worked as quickly as you have. At least in the last 1,000 years or so. He speaks a little quicker, forcing his words out. And because things are happening so quickly, I can get, well, I must admit that even I forgot you were standing right here for a moment. My apologies, Master. Why wouldn't I do you a favor? You're a good guy. It's not even favors, it's just treating you like a friend. We are here in this together, aren't we? The Minotaur breathes out. This time, the whole posture changes. As if all the tension left with him. That breath of fresh air. The master flatters me. Thank you. He raises the bottle. A toast? Zeus, willingly may I serve well, to deserve your favors in perpetuity. It begins with a paused gulp, to appreciate the wine's flavor, to breathe in and out before getting to it. His nostrils flare in a snort as the wine, enjoyable as it may be, burned his throat. The Minotaur closes his eyes and throws his head back. His Adam's apple bobs with each mouthful, and the bottle bubbles as if its contents are emptied around the imperfect seal of Asterian's lips. All the while nothing happens. He remains exactly the same, an ear still without fur, and an eye. The hotel shudders. The floor beneath you quakes, and you hear it again, the groaning sound of the obsidian at the bedrock rubbing against itself. It almost sounds like a far-away yell. The table groans as Asterion bangs the empty wine bottle against it. His tail flicks over the floor. His eyes are shut tight. His left eye was closed for the first time in a long time, and he seems to be concentrating on it. Dang, he got big. Oh, wow. Huh? how do you feel? I feel... I feel fine. A tad tipsy. It is quite unsettling having two eyes again after so long, but in a good way. The Minotaur shakes himself, like a dog would when trying to dry itself. His ears and tail flop around. I feel heavy. It's been so long since I felt like this. I hope I... This is how I used to look like, more or less. I hope you aren't... Nah, don't worry about it, Asterion. Everything's fine, and in fact, you look great. Oh, thank you. But maybe we should get going. Don't you have a concert? By the 12. You look at the remains of the shirt you have made for Asterion lying on the ground, torn to shreds. I am very sorry, Master. This is why I prefer togas. My neck doesn't get along with tight collars. Oh, so that's why they asked, okay. Well, don't worry about it. We can mend it later. Right now, you should be getting ready for your show. Yes, I should. His ears flick, as if to shake your forgetfulness. The Minotaur moves about the room to straighten himself up, gather his lyre, and make sure of the tuning of the strings. As he gets involved with his lyre, you listen to him muttering, here and there, snatch a word or two. Got yourself lost in wine. Alkio said it's true. En onoi elethia. Between the few words you comprehend, there are streaks of hums, trying to hit the lyre's notes. When he gets back to being ready to leave, lyre in hand, his face contorts into surprise to see that you're still here. Master, I thought, thank you again. What were you saying back there, if you don't mind me asking? Noi? It's, Alkios. En anoi, oi, Althea? He, sang? He, oh my god. He sang a lot about drinking, that there's truth in wine. I mean, drinking helped me loosen up a bit. I didn't know what to say, but it helped. Huh, curious. Doesn't the hotel translate what people say? Shouldn't I have heard the translation? But I haven't. But I suppose that is a matter of time. Wait, that is a matter for another time. How about we go to the lounge together? Asterion tenses his jaw, looks down at your feet, as if lost in thought. Yes, Master. Very well. You and Asterion head out, side by side. It's night out. The grand staircase is draped in darkness, but a glimpse towards the heavens reveals the twinkling stars. An immense, foamy sea, moving ever so slow. Murmurs a song crawl up the ground floor. So, what do you have in mind for tonight? Just a few old songs, I know. Nothing special. In fact, they may sound odd for modern sensibilities. They are, Asterion sighs and looks down to his lyre. He rubs his thumb over the side of it, back and forth, followed by the flick of his ears. There's a rhythm to him. His thumb is twice as fat as his steps downstairs. Wait, as fast. His ears flicker after every third step, and his tail swishes every fifth. Then he almost stumbles. He's not yet used to his new center of gravity. He puts a hand on this guardrail and snorts. As soon as he takes his next step, he stumbles again. You reach out to hold his hand. Are you sure there's nothing wrong? I'm sorry, master. I am just a bit in my head. You attempt to let go of his hand. No longer and rougher than before, but his fingers furl around yours and resist, at least until he gingerly lets you go. He takes a breath and seems to concentrate. You reach the ground floor and take the hallway to the lounge. The lights aren't lit yet, so you and Asterion walked into the darkness once more. Further ahead, there is a slit of light flowing from the lounge's door, and beyond it is the hallway that leads you to the kitchen, where you found Asterion mere days ago. The guests' laughter and voices, Luke's boisterous shrieks, Coda's rumbling bass, and now your footsteps, mixed with the clapping of Asterion's hooves. His gait is no longer yours now, lumbering slow movements, each step swaying him like a pendulum from side to side. Still, the two of you find a common rhythm, 3 of yours for every second step of his. You are almost there now. You look to the Minotaur, he looks away, then back to you, and brings his gaze down to your feet. As you look into each other's eyes, he squares his shoulders. He squares his fingers? No, why would I say fingers? He squares his shoulders like a taut wire. His eyes remain gentle, though perhaps gentler than as your gaze holds his. He does seem to all have relieved you when you look away, however. There is a what is that? Consternated look, and then a nod to himself. Do you pray, my lord? I mean, why not? I don't really pray myself, but sure, we can do it. Not always, but yes. And perhaps our prayers have matched then, and whatever God heard them took care of us together. He bows his head. May your ownership be prosperous, sir. I'm sure we will do very well together, Asterion. Let's fulfill this hotel's mission, shall we? The wine must have loosened him up a bit. By now, as kind of as a contented gentleness enters his words. Whatever the good master says. She's so big. You take a step forward, side by side, and the two of you go in. Well, the stage should be set. Do you want to get ready? Yes, I should do that. The atmosphere in the lounge feels festive and lively, a far cry from when you first came here. Coda, who on any other day would run his restaurant like a proud captain of a tight ship, is now not bothered by the chatter and festive mood of the room. I need water, guys, sorry. Luke sits next to the Uruguayan workers. He's scooting a little too close to the burliest of pair, laughing at all the jokes and making some of his own whenever possible, much to the other's chagrin. Ishmael and Greta are sitting at one of the tables far away. The former is glued to his phone, watching something while the latter is pushing himself to socialize. And to think, just a week or so ago, this place was dead and bloodstained. What an accomplishment! You turn to Asterion as he gets up on the stage. The Minotaur covers his eyes, the lights glare at him, carving a dull pain into the back of his head. He looks down to the steps leading to the platform, and goes step by step as he lumbers the new weight of his body. 20 or so sets of eyes are fixed on him, on his bullish features, his horns, his newly healed self. It's been a while since he's been in the spotlight like this. Back when he was a child, a woman would come and put flowers on his horns, dozens of ladies in succession, and he would cover his eyes in much the same way then. They would ask for his blessings. The men would plead He blessed their crops until it became too much. He'd cry, and his father's, or wet nurse, would pull him away and scold him for throwing the tantrum. Wow, crying is a tantrum? Okay. He cradles a lyre against his chest. A struggle grazes his shirt. A string grazes his shirt, and lets out a hum. It sent a spark of confidence. He moves his arm away, pulls a stool, and sits down. He looks at the guests, each and every one of them, in succession, then to you. Hey, hello everyone. I think I think I should introduce myself first. My name is Asterion, and as you can see, I'm not exactly human. I work here at the hotel. It's where I spent most of my life, in a way. He traces his thumb along the string again, letting it vibrate into the air, not quite plucking it. Until last week, this place was abandoned. It was just me here. I'm glad to see people again. So many new faces. Sorry. So among you are our first guests after our reopening, and I know some of you are leaving tomorrow morning. So we thought it would be nice to do something special. This is for you, our guests. But I am dedicating it to our fine host, Mr. Lucian, whose kindness has allowed us to enjoy this night in the first place. I hope you enjoy tonight, and that when you leave, that you take with you our fond memories. If you ever need a home or just a place to rest, our doors are open. The Minotaur positions his lyre and breathes. He places his fingertips along the new strings, or along a few strings on the side of the lyre, and strums with his other hand. He begins to hum. It gets louder, through plaintive notes. Plaintive? Notes of the chain-like rhythm, he says. A few snatches of words as he begins to pluck out the melody he hummed. Only the last line, did he sing out. A look of consternation and worry fading into a simple calm as the last notes fade to silence. I hope you don't mind I didn't sing that one. I found as I just got on stage, I could not remember the words, so I hope the strings alone would do. I wasn't quite sure that the muses were with me this evening, but the 9 of the Helicon are here. It seems that they deserve acknowledgement before I continue. My older brother taught me to play, and one of the first things you do in a performance is invoke the muses, he said. Tonight, they did not see fit to remove the song completely from me, and made me remember my brother. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Tonight, they did not see fit to remove the muses, the song completely from me, and made me remember my brother. May my song's reverence with them be always as their mercy is to me. So thank you, muses, who are not to cross with me. Please aid my song. He plucks another... Yeah? Yeah. He plucks another melody out, a single line of notes stretching through the room, strings left to ring out. Once he noticed how much the melody has contour and cadence of speech, you hear his fingers stop a few strings. He strums again and begins to sing, putting words to what he has played. It is not quite the bellow, but his bovine throat is open as his voice rumbles out an epic hymn, a lyric, a drinking song. While the song lasts, he is shameless. His presence flows and captivates. His heaviness was never less burdensome. Between each of these, however, Asterian's bashfulness returns, as he explains what the song is about. But while he sings, and while he plays, he is not self-conscious. His eyes aren't closed out of shyness, but out of feeling like himself. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoy your stay, and thank you for once again. I've been having the strangest dreams lately, Dad. Oh, it's a bird. Peacock! I see into this room. Oh, wait, what? Okay, okay. I see into this room. It looks like some kind of ancient Greek temple or something. At the middle of it, there's a big chunk of purple rock. I've been having those ever since Grandpa died, and we've had the whole thing about it, his will. But lately it's different. There were people here. A number of them, actually. And, one of them was a Minotaur. Just like Grandpa said. Oh my god, that's funny. I've been thinking about it, yes. I mean, it's not like I have anything better to do right now. I got a job offer, kinda, but they don't know for sure yet. And I have some savings. Well, I've been thinking about paying Grandpa a visit. A little car trip. Who knows, maybe his stories about the hotel are true after all. I want to find out myself. Now that's a very mean thing to say about your own father. He taught me better than that. Listen, none of that is going to stop me. You might as well save yourself the effort. It's best if I hang up now. Goodbye. Fucking piece of shit. I'll show you. Aw. Okay. I'll be ending off with this big boy on the screen here. He just is taking up a good third, or good, I don't know what to say, like, yeah, I guess third. I'm stupid, guys. Dang, look at those shoulders, though. But yeah, thank you for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I am thankful for y'all watching these. Even though if they suck, I'm trying to do better. I think I'm doing better. I don't know. Please leave stuff in the comments. It helps out. Like, I didn't even realize that the audio was this terrible. Because when I was editing, it didn't seem that bad, but I guess it is. But now, I think I'll be doing better on that. I'll try my best. Being more attentive. Alright. Happy Thanksgiving. Spend time with your families, and have a good day. Bye!